I would constantly worrying about having to hide my weight. That was my main concern. I was constantly in dark clothes all the time. I would never do my hair. I would never do my makeup. I just felt like, why? If I'm overweight, like, why should I try to even look pretty when I don't obviously feel pretty? So during those years, I felt so down. I didn't want to go out. I didn't want to see people I knew because obviously they were like, wow, you put on so much weight. Mental health was really bad. I used to put myself down so much. I was so hard on myself. I didn't feel my age at all. I'm a makeup artist. I've been doing makeup for 3 years now. So I would go to people's houses and my clients, and they would think I'm over 20 something years old, when in reality I was only 17. And there was even times where like telling my client like I'm a lot older because I didn't want to see her reaction. That's what really would hit me.
Obesity is currently one of the biggest problems in the world, negatively affecting every aspect of our lives. Because of this, I decided to hear from real people the real stories. I want to know what made them put on the weight in the first place. Are these people really just junk food addicts who are too lazy to exercise? Or is there much more to the story hiding behind the wall of fat? I want to know, what was their turning point in their life to say enough is enough? And how do they overcome their biggest challenges? We believe that the real people have more good answers than even the best weight loss programs. We hope that they will inspire, educate and motivate all of us to make changes in our lives. And this is how, together, we can contribute towards a better, healthier and happier world. We have Liz here today with us, joining us from California, one of my favorite places in the world. They have incredible weather, and you are going to be in for a treat today with Liz because she is an incredible woman and she has incredible following as well, which shows that she's an incredible person. And she has lost an incredible 120 pounds in weight, and just look how beautiful this woman looks. Pleasure to have you.
Thank you so much. I'm glad to be here.
Awesome. And I'm sure everybody that's going to be watching and listening to this as well is very excited to hear your story, your journey, and from it as well, which is the most important part, is for people to take something away from that you've achieved on your journey. So you've lost 120 pounds in weight. So what is the heaviest point of your life? When was it and how much was it?
So at 17 years old, I was weighing at 268 pounds, which was unbelievably so big for my height. I am 5'2". For my age, it was way, way too big. And it was unreal how big I got. And now that I look back at the pictures, I'm just like, I see how much that affected me and how much sadness I see when I look back at those pictures.
Yeah, so you were at 17, you were at your heaviest weight of your life, which is 265 pounds. So tell us the story leading up to the age of 17. How did you end up putting on, such a lot of weight or becoming so heavy?
So my whole life, I struggled with my weight. At a young age, I was a regular kid, regular size. And as I was growing up, I started to put on so much weight. And around 12, 13 years old, I hit puberty, and it seemed like the weight just started coming off. Like naturally, I wasn't doing anything. It was just growing up, my regular teenage years. And my regular weight was around 150 and 160. And as I got into high school, I met my boyfriend, and within a few years, I added birth control. And with birth control, it just went downhill. My weight went skyrocketed, like unbelievably, and I was started going through problems with my family, so it was so easy for me to just give in with the food since I was already gaining weight. I was just really depressed, and it was just downhill, and it was terrible. And the weight just kept coming and coming and coming until I actually got to the point where I realized if I don't do something now, I'm only going to get bigger. That's
Yeah.
the only thing that will happen.
And so how did you end up going from 160 to 265? That's 105, 110 pounds in weight. How did you
Yeah.
manage to put on so much weight in a short period of time?
Yeah, so I want to say I gained that much weight I started gaining weight my freshman year all the way to my senior year until I actually made a difference, which was 4 years of just putting on that weight and just going through a very hard time in my life and just being affected by that, my weight being like such a hard thing to deal with because I wasn't overweight like that my whole life. So when during those years, I felt so down. I didn't want to go out. I didn't want to see people I knew because obviously they were like, wow, you put on so much weight. So it was terrible. My mental health was really bad. I used to put myself down so much. I was so hard on myself. And now that I look back, I'm just like, wow, like I can't believe I did so much damage to myself within those years.
So within those 4 years, what were the things that were going on in your life for you to put that weight on?
So birth control is how it really started. I gained about 40 to 50 pounds on birth control. And so once I realized that, like, I was just like, well, I know I don't know how to lose weight. I don't go to the gym. I don't do anything. I know like it's going to be impossible for me to lose weight. So my cousin passed away actually, and that was really hard for my family and me.
So
And
tell,
so
tell us what, because some people may not know what the term birth control is. Maybe they call it something else. Just tell us what the birth control is.
it's called the Depo shot here where I live, and that they had told me like it's possible for you to gain weight while being on the Depo shot, and it's supposed to prevent you from getting pregnant with and having not protecting sex. And so that made me gain a lot of weight, and I got it injected a few times. I want to say like 3 times within those 4 years. So that was a very big like impact on my weight gain.
Yes.
And
So
and
within
it
within taking the birth control, you just instantly gained 40 to 50 pounds in weight, yes?
yeah, like it gives you hormones and it makes you like really hungry, and you just gain a lot of weight on it.
So when you go to the doctors and you ask them for these prescriptions, do they advise you about the effects that are going to happen when you actually take this medication?
Oh yes, they definitely did not say like it would be so much weight, but they definitely did tell me it is possible for you to either lose weight on it or gain weight. So
Yeah.
did know. I just, at the moment when you're on it, you don't really realize it until you've actually already have gained the weight, and you're like, wow, like
Yeah. It's a lot of weight, 40, 50 pounds in weight. Looking back at that point of your life, when you were taking the birth control, would you do the same again, knowing that if you were going to gain the 40 to 50 pounds?
Oh no. I knew what they were telling me, but I did not know like how much that birth control can really affect your body, not just by gaining weight, but you don't really know like what type of things like vaccines and stuff like that, especially like birth control, can really harm your body. Like it's really scary to think about.
So tell us a few of the complications that you also had that came with the prescription of the birth control, apart from the weight gain that you had. What other side effects did you notice?
So also with the birth control, I noticed that my period was completely gone for the first few months. And unfortunately, a few months later, I started it's called spotting, which you bleed for such a long time. And I was spotting for about, I want to say the next 2 months after that, that I didn't get my period. So I was basically on my period for like 2 months. Like it wasn't a heavy flow, but it's spotting. So unfortunately, my body did not, obviously did not like that injection that I took.
Yes.
And unfortunately, I was really young. I was around 16 to 17. Nah, I was like 15 to 16 years old. And I really just wanted to protect myself as, as a teenager. And I didn't really know how much damage I was actually doing to my body by getting those injections.
Yeah. So when your body was losing a lot of blood for a period of time, how was that affecting you?
So that was just a very bad experience. It was like I didn't know when I was going to stop. I didn't know like when it would go away. I just knew like it was happening and that's all I could really do. And I knew it was because of the depot shot, because they also told me this could also happen while you're on this. So I was pretty much informed like what could happen when you're on the depot shot, but as a teenager, you don't really expect those things to actually, happen to you. So once they did happen, I always tell girls, like, don't do that to yourself. Like, if anything, like, do your research on what you really would work for your own body, because everyone else reacts differently. And it's really scary when you don't know really what's going on with those injections that you put on in your body.
Yes. And did you have anybody to speak to when you were going through this? Because if you're a teenager, you're thinking, what's going on here? Is
Yeah.
there something that's going wrong? Did it happen?
So unfortunately, there was these like clinical buses that would go to my high school. So really, that was all the information that we could get, and that's where I would get my depot shot.
Yes.
And they're good for for protecting with all that unprotected sex and stuff like that, but unfortunately they don't like really like talk to you like think about it, because this may affect your body in this way. They tell you like this can happen, this and this can happen, but they don't really like tell you like, hello, do your research beforehand. And
So what would your advice be to all the young girls out there that are watching this? What would you say to them? What would you advise them to do from what
I
you...
would advise girls to really do your own research, because that's the real learning come from. And really ask as many questions as you have. Don't be afraid to ask questions, because I just felt like, okay, I'm here to get my depot shot. I know what it's for, blah, blah, blah. I don't need the rest. Just give it to me. No, really know what you're doing and putting in your body, because you don't know how your body could react to it in a few months, in a few years. And that's the scary part. And really, really, truly be informed.
What was the next steps for you to you gain the 50 plus pounds? Was it the side effect of the drop that you took? Was it effect because you were putting on this weight, so then you felt down, depressed, you didn't feel like yourself, etc.?
Yeah. So after knowing that I had gained a lot of weight from the depot shot, I was completely done with it. Like I wanted it out my body as soon as possible, and I wanted to give my body a break. So I knew I had gained a lot of weight, but I didn't, as a 16-year-old, I didn't know how to lose weight. I didn't know the correct way. Obviously, I would go online and see all these diets and all these things, and I just knew they did not seem so realistic to me. Like, as a person who was overweight at such a young age, there were diets this, diets that, count calories, count blah blah, like so much, like too much for me to even comprehend and actually start something with all these things like that didn't really make sense to me. Like, so exercise wasn't a huge part of my life at that time either. So I knew like it was gonna be such a hard thing for me to lose weight. So at that time, like I was really depressed. A few months after my cousin passed away, so things got more depressing, and it was really easy for me to turn to food and just, well, I'm already overweight, might as well just keep eating. I'm not gonna, I know like it was gonna be impossible for me to lose weight. So I already had that mindset where I'm overweight. I can't do nothing about it. I'm only 16 years old. I'm going through so many things in my life right now. It was just, I was in a hole. And my mind mentally, I was just beating myself up in my head. Like I was just putting myself worse and down, and just, it was just me digging a hole downward. Like I wasn't making myself better. It wasn't getting any better at all until I finally reached an age at 17, and I realized like I can't continue like this. If I continue like this will be my life. This will be the rest of my life from now on. And I knew I couldn't have that. I couldn't deal with that.
So when you were at your heaviest, how was this mentally for you? You know, being at 265 pounds at 17 years of age, how did you cope with that? You know, what were the things that were going on in your mind?
So I knew like this was I remember when I started having this change in mindset was the summer before my senior year. So I was 17 years old. This was my heaviest at 268 pounds. And I was constantly thinking about it. It was constantly in my head, like, I have to do something about my weight. I have to do something about my weight. And I always wanted to, like, I had tried many diets. I had tried many things. I would go to the gym for a week and give up. And like, I knew like diets did not work for me. Like I knew I loved the gym. Like I love working out. I love being active, but at 268 pounds, that was kind of impossible for me. So I started really like thinking about it. I was just like, you know what? I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna not diet, but I'm gonna have a change in lifestyle because I love working out, and I'm gonna get to the point where I'm gonna be able to work out at one point. Obviously, at 268 pounds, I'm not gonna be able to do much, but it's a start.
Yeah.
So that's what I had in mind, just starting off slow, no
So,
dieting
so,
because
so tell us, when you were at 268 pounds, tell us how your life was. What were the difficulties? What were the challenges? I want to know more about what it was like to be 268 pounds at 17 years of age.
so being 268 pounds, I would constantly worrying about having to hide my weight. That was my main concern. How can I find this clothes that can make me hide? You know, I was constantly in dark clothes all the time. I would never do my hair. I would never do my makeup. I just felt like, why? If I'm overweight, like, why should I try to even look pretty when I don't obviously feel pretty? And I didn't feel my age at all. I had people. I'm a makeup artist. I've been doing makeup for 3 years now. So I would go to people's houses and my clients, and they would think I'm over 20 something years old, when in reality I was only 17. And there was even times where like I felt like telling my client like I'm a lot older because I didn't want to see her reaction to like, wow, you're so young. Like that's what really like would like hit me. When I would say that to myself, I started thinking like, why am I wishing when I know I can truly actually take action and make a change for myself?
Yes. And
And
what were the consequences of you thinking this way of, covering yourself up throughout the day, wearing the baggy clothes, always concerned about the way that you look, comparing yourself to others? What were the consequences for you then?
the consequences from doing that really like it took a toll on my emotions. Like it took a toll on me really hard. Like I felt depressed. I felt like I obviously didn't feel like myself. I felt like I couldn't really act like myself either because I felt like that bubbly person who I really am didn't really fit well with how I looked. And so I wasn't truly being myself, or I kind of didn't even know who I was anymore, or how to be, or how to act, because I didn't know how to do that anymore. Like, I was just so lost and trying to like put this other person out there, and I don't know, I was just truly lost with myself, and it was a really hard time. Like, it was a lot to to even try to feel again. It's kind of hard for me because now I'm like, when you ask me these questions, not a lot of people ask me. Like, people usually ask like, oh, how did you lose weight? Not like, how did you truly feel when you were at that weight? Which is kind of like, wow, it's really taking a toll on my emotions right now. But it's truly like amazing how I feel now to compare to how I used to feel. Like, it's pretty scary.
Well,
Like,
so tell me, how did you used to feel? Because there'll be people out there that will feel the same way that you used to feel.
I used to feel like there was no way out. Like, I felt like there was no way out for me. Like, I got to the point where I just accepted me being overweight and just continued to put on the weight, and just I felt like that was the only thing to do. Like, I couldn't do much. I felt like 268 pounds. When I was weighing like 230, I felt like, wow, like that was huge. My mom was weighing 230, like that was her biggest. And me being bigger than my mom, that really was like, wow. Because they used to think me and my mom were sisters, and obviously I'm a lot younger than my mom. So that was really hard. Like,
So what would you turn to when you were feeling at your lowest? Was it food? Was it anything else you would turn into when you were at your heaviest?
so I would what I would turn to is Instagram. I would go on Instagram. I would never post pictures of myself like full body, just like my face, or like half my face or something. So whenever I felt like down or something, like I would take a nice picture of my face or whatever, post it, get a few likes, and felt a lot better, because those people did not see my body. Those people would see what I would put, not truly what I look like. So whenever I just wanted to feel better, like something like that, I would just go online and pretend to be someone I'm not, not truly show my body. And that was really hard, because a lot of people in my town knew how I truly looked. So there was always people talking and saying things like, oh, like she doesn't really look like that, like she's a catfish or whatever, like she never shows her body. So that was really, really hard for me as well. And I feel like I took some of that with me when I told myself I was going to make a change. I took some of those things that those people said and really hold on to it, just, to like, I'm going to do it, and I'm going to do what I have to do, and I will transform. And I feel like all those things that people said to me, like, I really took them. I'm sorry. I did not think I was going to get emotional in this video.
So
but honestly,
tell us. You get as emotional as you want.
Yeah, but those things really hurt. But those things are what made me, and what strengthened me, and what helped me achieve what I have achieved today.
So you use that as your motivation when the times got tough. You thought about all those things people would say, and you'd be like, watch me, what I'm going to do.
Yes. That was, yeah, definitely. That's exactly what I had in mind.
Yes. And one of the other reasons why I'm doing this is because people have such a narrow mind about when they see somebody that is overweight. They think that they're just eating, or they don't do exercise. And there is a bigger underlying issue that has triggered that to happen. And I just want to show people that it's not just about people eating unhealthy and not exercising. There's a lot of other things that are going on, which are 99% of the things which actually trigger the weight to come on.
Yes.
And I just want to show people how incredible people like you are to actually get to the darkest place and dig yourself out and become, what you are today, which is incredible. It's an incredible achievement, and I really want to show people that that's not the problem of eating unhealthy and not exercising, or the lack of exercise. It's actually a bigger underlying problem that has happened for that person to get into that position that they're in. And if somebody like you can get to the bottom and get yourself back to the top, then there's a lot of hope for millions of people out there watching this, that they can do exactly the same. So it's truly inspiring to see, what you've gone through, and being able to drive on that motivation and get to where you are today. And I'm sure everybody that's listening and watching this as well will agree with what I am saying.
Yeah. Definitely. It's hard. I get lots of DMs from people telling me the story, and it's unbelievable how they get to that place and how hard it is to actually come out of it.
Yeah.
It's definitely not impossible.
It's not impossible.
No.
It's possible. And there's people like you that are going to make even more people believe that they can do it, which I'm very excited about. So you got to your heaviest, went to the darkest places, and sometimes it takes a person to get to the darkest places to actually realize what they've got in life. Because I think a lot of us take life for granted. We are not grateful for our life, for being here, for having the things that people take for granted, like walking, seeing, hearing, talking, etc. And sometimes it does take people to go to the darkest place before they realize what they got, and they don't want to lose it, and then they get themselves back on track. And I've seen thousands of people in this particular situation. So when you were at your darkest place, you were at your heaviest, what was the turning point for you to say enough is enough?
So I actually got told by this man, he told me he was really shocked that I was 17 years old, and he said, I thought you were like 27. And that really like hit me. Like, I went home that day and I was like, I can't do this to myself anymore. Like, I have to make a change. And that was a few months before I actually started my journey. And I hadn't had tried any diets anymore, because I knew obviously that didn't work for me. I just felt it coming. Like, I knew, like, soon I'm going to have this change. And sooner or later, a few weeks passed. I told myself, all right, it was November 12th of 2016. I said, all right, I'm going to head to the gym. I know I'm going to probably eat junk food, and I'm probably going to, not eat my healthiest, but that's okay. I'm going to continue going to the gym every day, and that's what I'm going to do. So I was already signed up to Planet Fitness, and had already been signed up to Planet Fitness for a year, but I hadn't used the gym, obviously. And I went in and did what I had to do, and I had told myself I was going to start off slow, because I had previously tried to go to the gym and work out really hard, and I ended up giving up within a week. And this time, the reason it was truly different, and the reason I didn't give up when I started my journey, was because I had a week or two that I had started, and my boyfriend tells me, oh, let's go grab a slice of pizza or whatever. And I was like, okay, well, let's go. I knew, like, I was telling myself, I'm gonna go to the gym tomorrow, I'm gonna make it, and I'm not gonna make this pizza an excuse. So I'm sitting there eating a bunch of pizza, and while I'm eating there, I'm starting to feel so guilty. I'm starting to feel like oh my God, this is the end of my journey. Like, I'm literally not going to get anywhere. I was starting feeling so bad. Like, I was such in a bad mood the rest of the day. At night, I was in bed thinking, like, I can't give up. If I don't make it to the gym tomorrow, that's the last of my journey. That's the last thing, like, that last time I'll probably ever try to lose weight. And I told myself, no, like, I have to go to the gym. Like, the only way I can truly fail is if I give up or don't start. So I wasn't going to let myself give up this time. And I made sure I went to the gym the next day. And after that, like, I felt unstoppable. I felt no one can stop me or stop my journey at all anymore. Like, I cheated, and that's okay, because this is not a diet. It's a lifestyle. This is something I'm gonna do for the rest of my life, and it's something that I just wanna do. I love fitness, I love this, and I love that lifestyle, and that's a lifestyle that I wanted to have. I would see all these fitness people on Instagram daily going to the gym, and it seemed so fun, and it seemed I wanted to live that lifestyle. So I told myself, that's the lifestyle I'm gonna do. That's the lifestyle I'm gonna live. And that's exactly what I did.
Awesome.
And the holidays were right around the corner. I started my journey November 12th, and I was like 2 weeks in when this occasion happened. So I knew the holidays were coming, and I said, you know what? I'm gonna go to the gym right after I eat well on the holidays. And that's exactly what I did. I hit the gym right after Christmas, right after New Year's. Once the gym was open, I was there. And within a few months, like, I started seeing results.
Awesome.
And
so when you went out for your pizza and then you went back home and you said, if I don't go to the gym tomorrow, then I don't see myself getting out of this. How did you make yourself go to the gym on that day? Did you just get up and just went, or was it a lot of self-talk?
So most of that self-talk was right after I ate that pizza. That debating was right after I ate that pizza. That was just, I felt so heartbroken. I felt like I'm not going to accomplish anything. This is what I'm going to look like forever. This is me. This is all I have. And I wasn't satisfied with that. I was like, I cannot live unhappy for the rest of my life. I can't go and let my life go to waste. Especially, I was a senior, so my senior year, I felt like that was the only time I truly had to go to the gym and focus on myself, because after that, I was going to go to college. I needed to get a job, and I wasn't going to have time for any of that. So all this was like processing through my head, and like, and I put in my head, like, this is my time. If I don't do it now, it's never going to get done. So
the next day you woke up, and what happened?
I woke up happy as ever after debating with myself and putting myself through so much the night before. I woke up happy with a positive attitude. And yeah, I struggled a little bit more because of that pizza really held me down. But I pushed myself, and once I left the gym, I just felt so relaxed and accomplished, and like a weight has been lifted off my shoulders. Like,
yes.
I knew nothing was able to stop me after that.
So from that day to the present day, how long has it been?
So it's been a year and a few months since then.
And what have the biggest challenges been, let's say, in the last 14 months?
The biggest challenges, I want to say, honestly, the biggest challenge now is finding time for the gym. Not since it takes up a lot of time, finding the correct time and stuff like that is.
What about on the 14-month journey? What have been the biggest challenges? Because you've overcome those challenges. I would love to know what they were.
My challenges now? Well,
not now. When you were going through the 14-month journey, what were the challenges you went through?
I want to say the true challenges are the very first months. That's what I want to say, because you reach a level at the gym where you just fall in love with it. So there's no really challenges because that's your life. That's the love. Like you just love. I feel like once you start a journey, the first few months are the hardest part because your body is not used to any activity and you have no type of motivation. But once you overcome that, you get in the stage where you love the gym and it doesn't become a challenge. It becomes something you want to do, and it's something that you you want to do it. So there's no really challenges, but the challenges are having your body become used to the exercise, detoxing your body from all the bad food that obviously you were eating while gaining weight. Those I want to say are the hardest parts of the journey, but once you overcome that, it becomes easy. It becomes something you want to do, and you crave, your body craves it. Your body craves the exercise.
And how did you overcome those?
So like I said, when I first started, my biggest challenge was dieting. But once I went through that challenge of eating that pizza and knowing like that little slice wasn't gonna affect me, and once I told myself that it was a lifestyle and not a diet, I felt a lot more comfortable because being on a diet, it's like something strict. It's something like you can't eat not even that because you break your diet. And so living a lifestyle of it, I felt free enough to have sweets, to have whatever I wanted, but I knew I had to do what I had to do the next day and get back to my routine the next day. So really having that change in lifestyle, that freedom really gave me like a peace in within myself. I was relaxed, I felt good. I took my journey day by day, and I didn't not feel pressured at all. And it's just really taking it slow and knowing what your body needs and just going by what your body tells you, and that's really how you'll have a successful journey.
So tell me, what were the 3 biggest changes that you made to accomplish the weight loss of 120 pounds?
The biggest changes I made was completely leaving fast food. I actually was diagnosed with HS within like 2 or 3 months that I started my journey, which is hidradenitis suppurativa, which you grow like huge ingrowns like in your underarms, under your boobs and stuff like that, and it's from being overweight. So I realized, like, I started doing research and I started to realize like what prevented HS, what actually made your HS worse was like foods like fast foods and foods that were processed. So I would eat daily for the 3 meals fast food on a daily basis when I was overweight. So leaving the fast food was super hard for me. It was such an easy thing to go and grab, and I didn't know how to cook, and I wasn't living with my mom at the time. So that was a very, very hard thing for me and very difficult, and for my body to get used to that, it was really hard. I'm not gonna lie, like the first few months of that change were very, very hard for me. The exercise and the gym, that came easy to me. But the eating part, that was a very hard part for me. And like I said, it's just the first few months where your body is detoxing from all that junk food that you were eating and obviously you have to drink lots and lots of water, and those times your body feels like it's kind of going through like a withdrawal, like your body's like detoxing all that junk out, and that was definitely the hardest part for me, and getting my body used to my routine of cardio. And I want to say those were the biggest challenges in my journey.
What would your advice be to somebody that's watching this or listening to this over, let's say, 50, 100, 200, 300, 400 pounds? What would your advice be to them to take action? How would they do it?
My advice for those people will be to take action but take it slow. Take it to how your body can handle it, you know? Don't be rushed. Don't think it's a race or a competition. None of that. Learn yourself, learn how your body works, and do what your body can do. Don't push it, don't stress yourself about it. Take it slow, and you will get to where you will get to, as long as you keep going and never give up, because the only way you can truly fail is if you don't start or you give up.
Yes,
That,
I would agree with you. That's a very smart answer, because a lot of people are wanting quick fixes. You mentioned earlier, it's about adapting it into your lifestyle, and it's about doing it for the rest of your life. It's not about doing it for a short period of time. And a lot of people are very, 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 very impatient. People are
yeah.
not patient. You need to be patient. Doesn't matter what it is that you want in your life, you have to be patient to get it. So that's
Everything.
a great bit of advice for people, is not to rush anything and be patient.
Yes, of course.
You've got like 100 years of experience here. You know so much for such a young person.
Thank you. Definitely going through things teaches you.
There's no better experience. There is no better
Yes,
experience.
that,
Like, I know how to lose weight. I can teach people how to lose weight. But coming from somebody that's lost weight, I think it's amazing information for people, because everybody does it differently. And I think in society,
yes,
we are all individuals, so we all work differently. You know, there may be 50% of us that can be adapted, that we can work the same, but then the other 50%, we are individualized. So we need to work out how things work for us. So your way of losing weight will be the same in some places, but different in other places. Like you said, the exercise for you was easy. Maybe the exercise for me was more of a challenge, but the dieting for me was much easier. So it's very versatile, and I like to hear people's stories, because there will be people like you out there that can take their information and hopefully will use it. What is it like now, your life, compared to what it was 4 years ago? How has things changed? How have things got better?
Well, what can I say? Life is life. There will always be problems, but I definitely am glad that my being overweight is not one of them. So, just being prepared for life, being healthy and being strong is what's important, because life will always bring problems, as long as you're healthy and strong. Don't let being overweight be another problem.